I recently changed my offense and it's completely changed the way I play, and it's been amazing. Over the last few days, I've gone undefeated in the Heisman division of the Road to the College Football Playoff using a Tier 2 unranked team. And I've been controlling the clock, shredding defenses, and scoring with ease. And in this video, I'll show you where to find this offense, how to run it, and then take it into a live online head-to-head game to prove just how effective it is. So if you're serious about leveling up your game, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell for when we drop new videos. With that, let's get into it. Today, I'm giving you a mini scheme that can dominate any defense in College Football 25. And whether you want to grind it out with a powerful ground and pound approach or air it out for easy touchdowns, this offense has you covered. It's built from two key formations, I-form close and bunch strong offset in the Michigan offensive playbook. And as always, for the full scheme with even more unstoppable setups and one-play touchdowns, you can head over to WinCollegeFootball.com. Now let's get into the first play. Now with formations like I-form wing over, and gun wing pair, Michigan's playbook has some of the most overpowered run formations in College Football 25. But today, we're starting with a mix of run and pass from the versatile I-form close formation. And since this offense can truly dominate the ground, we're going to start by getting into some of the best runs in the game. All right, let's talk about the run game out of I-form close. Now, I'm going to attempt to show you a number of different runs out of this formation. There's a lot of good ones, but for the most part, these are the 5 runs that I'm going to cover. We have end around power, power O, halfback stretch, zone weak, and I already have just the ISO already called. All right. So another thing I want to show you is we're going to always run this with our tight end to the wide side of the field. You can see I flipped the tight end back and forth there, but we want to make sure that we have our tight end wide side. That's going to give us a little bit more room. The final thing you need to know before we get into the actual plays is you want to run the football without holding the turbo button until you're into the open field. And you're going to want to do that because you will be able to move the running back a little bit more, like he'll literally be a little bit easier to control. But additionally, EA has programmed the game where block sheds will happen a lot faster as soon as you hold the turbo button. These 5 runs all have kind of different purposes to them. So right here, we actually have a defense that I've got this on random defense, but we'll take a look. But they're pretty spread out, even though they're sending a lot of pressure here. So this is a very good opportunity to say, you know what? You don't have a lot of linebackers in the middle of the field here. I'm going to test what your defense is right up the middle, and that's just an easy call. We're going to gain 5-6 yards on that pretty much every time. Here's somewhat similar of a look, right? You've got linebackers that are pinched in the middle, but the defensive line is pretty spread out. You could certainly call the ISO here. Here's another opportunity to maybe call a different inside zone weak here. So this zone weak play, it doesn't get outside the tackles, still attacks the middle quite well. And again, you can see we pick up nice yardage on that. And another tool that you can use is you can just draw a line right down the middle that goes through the running backs, that goes through the quarterback, the center, even the safety in the middle of the field there. And you can say, if I run this to the right or to the left, do I have a numbers advantage to either of those sides? Well, here, the defense is symmetrical, so I want to run to the side where I have more players, which is the right side here. So in all likelihood, I'm very, I guess, not well off, but I'm positioned in a place where I can run this to the right and I can more effectively gain some yards here. So we'll just run the power O in this direction, for example, and you can see again, we're picking up an easy 5 to 10 yards. It's very simple, but that's really the reads that you're trying to make on these things. Now, additionally, if they start pinching everybody and they overload to one side even, maybe they do something like this, well, you still have even the halfback stretch that can get to the outside, and the halfback stretch is flippable. You can just flick the right stick to the other side. So I flicked the right stick to the left this time. And now we're running an outside run to the opposite way that it was designed. But you can see we get to the outside again, gaining 5 yards. Now, I do want to show you something cool out of this, especially when somebody starts like bringing a lot of people into the box and they do something like this. Then once we've hit them with stretches and some of these inside zones and everything, you have this end around power play. Now, I would not run this a lot, but if you mix this in, especially in big downs or short yardage situations, this can go for big yards, and it actually fools a lot of people. And you can see here, we pick up an easy 10 yards on it. So these are all runs that are very effective. They're going to force your opponent to be worried about stopping the run game on every single down. And as long as you start understanding the mechanics of it, you get used to not holding the turbo button until you're in the open field, you're going to have a ton of success running the football out of this formation. Now, to complement the run game, we need to be able to pass from I-form close as well. So for that, we're going to look at one of the best under center pass plays in college football 25, the play PA tight end leak. All right, so here's the play PA tight end leak. Now, what makes this play special is that post route by the B receiver absolutely destroys man defense. Like, it fries it. But we're only going to use that when we think our opponent might be in man. I'll explain why here in a minute. Now, our setup here is really simple. We are going to run this with our tight end to the wide side of the field. And what we're going to do is we're going to streak our X receiver. We're then going to drag route our tight end, and then we can optionally keep the B receiver on his post route if we think we're going against man coverage, or we can put him on a deep crosser if we're just not sure, man or zone, something like that, right? So here's the base setup. Now, here's a cover 3 just to get started here. We're going to snap the football. You're going to see if you have the tight end drag, just take it. But this B receiver is really our read. We're trying to hit a shot play. We're trying to hit him down the field. Hopefully, their user bites on the run because we're running a play action here and just frees up that deep crosser for big yards. And again, that was a cover 3. Here's a cover 2. We'll run the exact same setup out of it. Nothing needs to change. Again, snap the football, and you're going to see this B receiver again, as long as he doesn't run into that guy forever, is going to end up wide open. And again, that can be a one-play score actually against cover 2 if he doesn't run into him too much. And match is going to play exactly the same. Nothing's going to change out of it. Again, it's going to depend on the route running of your B receiver a little bit. He's going to have to beat, the guy who matches to him. But you're going to see a lot of the times he's still going to beat him. And if we get a better throw there, we'll be able to complete that. But you get the idea against match. But what I really want to show you is man coverage. So here's a cover 1 man. Now, man coverage is really going to depend on the route running of that B receiver. And you're going to see here, we're going up against one of the better corners in the game. He's got lots of abilities, and you're going to see he just kind of bags him on the deep crosser. Like, does a pretty decent job. Actually, that was one of the better things I've seen him beat. But watch what happens if we keep him on the post route. The post route is absolutely going to fry man coverage. And what I do like to do with the post route is I do like to custom stem it up 1 click so it just goes a little bit deeper. And you're going to see here that he will just absolutely torch him. And again, that's one of the better corners in the game, and we just absolutely fried him because of how sharply that post route cuts. So again, a really simple play. It works so well because you have the play action built in with all those great runs we just showed you, and then you can beat them over the top and hopefully pick up a huge amount of yards and really shrink the field for your offense. Now, there's going to be times where it just doesn't make sense for us to be under center. So for that, we're going to look at one of the best passing plays in the entire game with the play flood. Okay, so here's the play flood. Now, for the most part, in our full scheme on WinCollegeFootball.com, we run our bunch strong offset with our bunch to the wide side of the field like it is here. But the setup I'm going to show you how to flood that's a universal leader, we're actually going to run it with our bunch to the short side of the field. So I'm just going to go ahead and flip this by hitting X on Xbox or square on PlayStation and then tapping the right trigger. And you're going to see this is now short side, and it looks like this. Now, what we're going to do from here is we're going to drag our middle bunch receiver, and then we're going to flat route our running back. Now, if you think they're blitzing you, you can just totally run it with the running back blocked. That's fine too. But this is just going to beat everything. If you make the right read here, you should have somebody open every single time. So we're going to start against the cover 3. Your first read is always either the drag to RB or the quick throw to the running back on the flat route. If either of them are open, like, just take them. They're 5, 10 free yards. Like, force your opponent to like shade down and guard those, right? So again, we're going to flip it. We'll just assume that we're not looking low, or for whatever reason they're shading down. Doesn't really matter because what we're really looking for is the big play to the tight end here. This corner route, we get a bad throw. This corner route and inverted fade combination. So the A receiver on the corner route and the X receiver on the inverted fade are absolutely deadly. They're phenomenal together. They just absolutely torch everything. So that was a cover 3. Here's a cover 2. It's the exact same read structure. Like, nothing changes at all. You could still look for RB. Then we're going to look for A if he just doesn't get bumped there like crazy, but we still have him. And again, we're picking up huge yardage on that. Now, cover 3s, cover 2s, cover 4s, they're going to play really similarly with this. Also, if somebody's trying to run match on you, match will not work against this formation because you have 4 receivers on one side of the field. That shuts off match. So instead of this matching, it's just going to play like regular cover 4 drop. And again, you're going to see same read structure. Here we've got A again. He's still going to work to the outside there. So that's going to beat every zone. Now, if they're in man coverage, you don't need to flip it. Like, you don't really need to worry about it at all if they're in man coverage. But let's just say we don't want to flip it because I want to make this video a little bit shorter for you guys. But RB should beat man every time. X should beat man every time. And the tight end oftentimes will beat man as well. We got tons of bumping there, but RB again wide open, and you can see how much space he can potentially get against man coverage. So again, flood, a universal beater, absolutely one of the best plays in the entire game. And then you mix this in with the run heavy piece of I form close, it is just really, really hard to stop. Now, to complement the play flood, we're going to look at one of the most difficult plays to stop in all of college football 25. This is the play Dagger. All right, and finally, we're taking a look at the play Dagger. Now, this is a great play. It's typically a much better zone beater than man, but I'm going to show you some utility of it in man as well. So we're going to start by showing this against the cover 3, and here's an instance that we will run this with our bunch to the wide side of the field. You can flip it every once in a while just to throw your opponent off if you want, but we're simply going to drag our tight end. We're going to put RB on a deep cross. We're going to flat route our B receiver, and then we're going to streak our running back. So it's going to look like this. Now, what is so good about this is the spacing, high-low on the left side, and then essentially the flat streak combo from the running back. Oh, man, it's so hard to guard this in zone defense. And then that X receiver is on a special route. That's in an old school fade route. It's kind of an out-cutting fade route, and it just absolutely destroys press man coverage. So we'll show that in a second too. But your first read on this is always the tight end. If you have it, just take it. But again, you're going to have this crosser, very similar to what we even did at a PA tight end leak. That's going to be there. Really, really annoying. And what makes this so good is this is typically the user, or this guy's the user. They're going to have to make a decision whether they guard the crosser or they guard the running back streak route. And they just can't guard both in zone. So I just manned this guy up on the crosser, and I just want to show you what happens and how open this running back streak route will get. If they leave that, like, that running back streak just turns into 20 yards. Like, it's very, very irritatingly annoying. But that's a cover 3. Again, the drag is there as well. You should always take that if you have it. But cover 2 is going to play very similarly. Like, here's just a stock cover 2. Again, you're going to see no flat zone over here. We're just going to take that and get up the field, make it simple. And then if they play cover 2 hard flat, you do have another option if they like quickly play hard flats on the outside. This is somewhat of a difficult read to make, but very possible to make. But that inverted fade route, again, if they play hard flats, like, it can be a quick throw that you can hit to the sideline there. Again, that's with revamped. I'm really pass leading that heavily to the outside. You have to practice that throw to be able to do it a little bit, but you can see it gets open. So let's also talk about match here real quickly. Again, if you remember from the previous setup that we did out of flood, this formation does not allow your opponent to play match coverage. So even though they might be in cover 4 quarters with zone drops off and it'll typically play match, because we have 4 receivers to one side of the field, this cover 4 quarters is just going to play like a cover 4 drop. So there's going to be no matching on it. It'll play like a stock cover 4 quarters. And again, you just make those high-low reads, get the easy open guy, take your free yards. And then man coverage as well. This is, again, going to depend on your receiver a little bit. You need somebody who has pretty decent release and speed and deep route running, but oftentimes that inverted fade route by the X receiver here, I don't know if he's actually going to win on this or not, but in game, he almost always wins it. If they press and they do not have deep safety help on the outside over there, almost every time in game, not every time in practice mode, but in game, that's going to be a free release, like kind of like we got here, and it's just going to be a one-play score, and of course we get a bad throw. But that is really what you're looking for if you ever see press coverage on the outside. So again, Dagger, a great play. It's a wonderful universal zone beater, and essentially doesn't allow them to play zone defense against you. And now let's take this offense into an online head-to-head game and show you just how unstoppable it can be. So to start the game, we're just going to come out in gun-wing duo, and we're going to hit him with the duo run play. Play clock was running down, so I just needed to run something. So we lose yards on our first run, but that's not the story of what's to come. So on second down, I am going to bunch offset, and we're simply just trying to make sure our opponent has to worry about the pass here. So we pick up a nice 20 yards over the middle, but it's right back to the run game. So here, a great stretch play. We follow our blocks perfectly. We gain a nice 9 yards, and now we're starting to really stress our opponent because he's going to have to worry about stopping the run on every down, and that's what we want him to do. Now here, we don't really gain any yards, but I do still view that as a win because we're figuring out what runs work and what runs don't against our opponent's defense and what his user is able to do. So here again, he does a pretty nice job against the stretch there, but Donovan Edwards is just Donovan Edwards. Here again, here's a halfback power out of the gun wing formation, and he does a pretty good job again with his user. So again, we're figuring out what works against his defense and what doesn't. Here's just again a little simple inside zone, not much there. We got 3rd and 9. We're in a passing situation here. So as we start to look through our playbook here, I've just noticed that he's running a lot of cover 3s and he's not getting people deep. So we hit a corner out to the sideline. Again, 1st down, and now we're inside the 15-yard line, right on the 10 about. Now, down here in the red zone, we especially want our opponent to try to stop the run. If he can't stop the run, we need to keep hitting him with it over and over and over again. So here, a nice little stretch. We get to the outside. Our blocks hold really well, and we're up 7-0. Now, on the first possession here, our opponent surprisingly also comes out in gun wing. He's trying to test our run defense as well. On the second play, though, we get the heat to scream in, and we force a strip sack fumble, and we take it to the house, so we're up 14-0 early. It's always good when you get the defense to score, especially against this offensive game plan we're running. So here, our opponent does hit us with a dot right up the middle, almost there with our user, but he's able to catch that and move up the field. And our opponent throughout this whole game played a lot of hurry up. So he was really hurry up. But that's okay. We're fine with it. Our blitzes are going to come in. Hits us with a nice screen here. Was not expecting that whatsoever. Hold him to 5 yards, but a good play by our opponent. After somewhat of a long drive, I make a user mistake here. I thought he was going on a corner route. He just had him on a seam streak. So our opponent gets 7, and he's within a touchdown in this game. But again, we have the football, and we need to, again, force him to stop the run game. So on 1st down here, we do go to the run, even though there's only a minute left in the half, and I still want to force our opponent to worry about it, right? I don't want him coming out in heavy pass sets or anything, especially when we got such an overpowered run game. Here, he only rushes 3, which essentially means he's not going to get a lot of pressure. We take off with our quarterback. It's 4th down and 2, but I don't care. We're going for it. We've got the crossing route. We get a red throw, but we're still able to complete it, and we're moving up the field. Now, here again, I want our opponent to always be worried about the run. And if he's going to come out in these dime sets with only 3 down linemen, we have to force him to worry about how he's going to stop that. So again, that was a little halfback power out of gun wing. We go with an inside zone this time, just trying to get to the 1st down so we can get the clock stopped. Now here we're back in bunch, and we've just got the tight end corner wide open. He's in a simple cover 4 defense there. We get inside the 5-yard line, 1st and goal. I've got a timeout in my back pocket, so I want to test him on the run for 1 play here. He's able to hold us, but again, our offensive line just holds up, and we're able to take off with the quarterback, and we get in the end zone, giving us a 21-7 lead going into the second half. Now to start the second half here, our opponent rolls out, and I think I have a great switch stick here, and for whatever reason, my defender just did not put his arms up to pick off the football, so our opponent immediately down in the red zone inside the 10-yard line. So I thought that was good defense, but it is what it is. Now, on the very next play, he hits us with a screen again. I have not been ready for the screen plays on either of the times he's called them so far, so good play. Now, back on offense, little play action here. We're starting to see him go to man, so we had a play dialed up to just hit him for an easy dot. We almost break free for a touchdown, but again, now he's really worried about the run, and here he overcommits to one side. We make 1 cut, and we are off to the races. This game is incredibly easy once you've established the run game and you've got your opponent starting to flow and overflow to certain sides where you can just get easy touchdowns without having to think. Back on offense here, we run cover 2 man, shaded to the outside. That looked like really good defense to me, but he hits a back shoulder throw, I guess, and gets a touchdown, so good for him. Now, back on offense here, I'm going to continue to force him to defend the run, and this little ISO play picks up his user, and we are off to the races with Donovan Edwards. Again, a nice gain. The clock does stop, but again, we've got the run game under control. Now here, I've noticed him running a lot of man. I was going to go to a zig route to the left receiver, but I see him press, and I'm going to go zig and streak. If he presses, we're off. We're going to throw a touchdown. Sure enough, he pressed. We lob it over the top, and we get an easy touchdown. Again, that's all because we've forced him to defend the run so hard. We're getting easy bombs over the top now. Now, the final possession of our opponent here, he throws a pick to our safety over the middle of the field, and we're able to pick that off. I decided to not go into the end zone here, just try to go down, work a little bit more clock to end the game. But that ends up being it. Our opponent decides that he's had enough at this point. He ends up quitting out, and we end up with the 37-23 win. And again, this offense controls the clock and absolutely dominates in College Football 25. Now, this offense is great, and you're going to score a lot of points. But in order to become better at College Football 25, you need to be able to get stops as well. So if you like this video, you should check out this video next, where I show you the top 5 glitchiest blitzes in College Football 25.